All right, we've got the report up here, and we're going to look at this. It says annual report and forecast for September 2019, U.S. metro economies, gross metro product, and employment numbers for 2018 to 2020. And like I said before, they're going to make projections on 2019 and 2020. And this is, again, courtesy of United States Conference of Mayors and the Council on Metro Economies and the North American City. All right, so real briefly, some of the summary that they give on this. I already said that metro areas dominated in U.S. economic growth in 2018. The GMP of 38 U.S. metros each surpassed $100 billion in 2018. Columbia was around $73 billion, and so it was ranked in the top 100. I'll give you a little information on that. Also, the employment numbers pretty good throughout the Southeast, just about all the southeastern states, North Carolina, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida, all were positive in employment numbers. Let's go look at just the areas themselves, and here's what we've got. Quite a lengthy report, but here's the tables. All right. So coming in at number 73 is Columbia, South Carolina, and like I said before, and in 2017, we were producing $41.4 billion in gross metro product, and past year, 2018, $42.3 billion. They're projecting us to do $43.9 billion this year, 2019, and $45.8 billion in 2020. So that puts us in the top 100, and we're growing every year. And that just is another quick thing to think about with Columbia, South Carolina. There are jobs here. We're growing in jobs. We're growing in opportunity here. It's another reason why I like the Midlands and why I love the Midlands and why I have pretty much chosen the Midlands of South Carolina to be my home. I've lived in a lot of other places, but I pretty much love it here. You look at some of our neighbors and where they stand on here. So Greenville, Malden, Easley, everybody talks about Greenville. They're only 1, 2, 3 ticks above us. They're at number 69. Let's see, in very similar economy, very similar size, and very similar economy, even with some of the big names that they have up there, like BMW. So right now, in 2018, they did $43.8 billion, and we had done 42.3. If you look at Charleston was just recognized as the top small city in the United States for tourism. But if you look at Charleston on this list, I was just looking at it now, I've forgotten where it is. You should know your numbers. But the Charleston area producing right now, I can find it. Well, there's Charlotte, Concord, Gastonia, North Carolina. That's right north of us, of course. 174 billion in 2017, 185 billion in 2018. Quite a lot bigger market than Columbia right now. All right, and places like Jacksonville, Florida is at number 45, about $80 billion. Charleston, 67. So they're 2 ticks above Greenville, Charleston, and North Charleston. In 2017, they were at $42.5 billion. Greenville was at 42.6, so they were higher. They were lower than Greenville on this list, and Columbia was right there at 41.4. This past year, Charleston did $44.6 billion. They're projected to go up to, in 2020, 49. Not quite hit the $50 billion mark, Again, Greenville at 47 in 2020, and then Columbia at 45.8, almost 46. So all three markets producing and growing markets, and projected to grow for 2020. So I think that's great. I think for a government town like Columbia, and also for being in the center of the town, of the state, it shows a lot for Columbia. And there's also some other reasons to live here. You've got a lot of outdoor activities. You've got the Lake Murray area, and you've got all the state forests. You've got a lot of walking, hiking, biking, running areas that you can do here in the Midlands, and it's just a great place to live. Let's look at a couple of the other numbers that this has to deal with, and what some of the sizes of Columbia compared to a country. Let's look at that. So if you put in Columbia, Charleston, there's Charleston. Columbia, South Carolina would be 168 in gross product versus the other countries in the world. So we would be right there with Jordan, and we would be right there with Bahrain. Bahrain's one of the oil-producing countries in the world. We would be above them in gross domestic product. So it kind of gives you an idea of the size of U.S. cities and how they produce more. Just a great, quick study. You can also find this study, if you're interested, on WIS's website, WIS News 10. You just go to WISTV.com. I can put a link in the YouTube video of this, and it will say report Columbia among top 100 metro economies in the United States. And it says here, a recently released report from the U.S. Conference of Mayors shows Columbia among the top metro economies in the country. And according to the report, Columbia is ranked 73rd among the nation's top metro economies. The report ranks 381 metro economies. So we're way up in the top third, and we're growing. Region represents more than 15% of South Carolina's gross state product. So good report. Take a look at it, look it up, and another reason why I love the Midlands. Come see us. Thank you. See you next week, or talk to you next week.